about building the building blocks to data happiness, because everybody wants happiness. My name's Shelley Siegel, and I'm with Ed Plus. I am a senior business intelligence analyst. I always have to check because it's so long. I've been with ASU for 9 years as of Friday. So happy anniversary to me. I started within admissions, so I can answer some of those questions, but it's better if you talk to people that are currently in admissions to do that. And now I'm at Ed Plus, and again, I'm a data analyst over there. And one of the key things that I'm working on is data literacy. So what we're going to talk about is I'm going to introduce you to Data Treat. Our team is known for food. We always have food in our area. So if you happen to stop by Ed Plus and you happen to buy the data play area, we have food. We have snacks, we have food, hence Treat. So I'm going to introduce you to Data Treat, and then the 4 parts of Data Treat are data culture, training and education, knowledge sharing, summits and conferences, and then I'm going to introduce you to the Treat Tracker. I hate to tell you this, but the Treat Tracker is only for Ed Plus, but we can talk. So, what is Data Treat? So the TREAT stands for Technology, Readiness, Education, and Advanced Training. Basically, we know data is hard. That's what that says. Data is hard. People are afraid of it. And the point for our data literacy program is so people aren't afraid and they're willing to take the data that's given to them, do their own analysis, and feel comfortable with it, and be critical of other people's, not mine, of course, but everybody else's. So why do we care? What is important about data literacy? Why do we care? So, like a couple things. You have to understand what's in front of you. I mean, there's data all over around us, and we have to be able to process it. If someone gives you a number, you have to check, understand where it came from. I mean, how many people have seen 2 reports that say that they are talking about the same thing, but have slightly different numbers? And then someone spends about 2 days trying to figure out why there's a difference. So understanding the sources is very important. And it cuts down a lot of time on people looking at things. And finally, a number is just a number unless you put context around it. So we want to be able to help you put context around the numbers that you see and the numbers that you present. So like I said, data is all around us. When you go by the gas station, how many people check what the price of gas is on the way to work? You know, you keep that in mind. It was like, oh, that gas station was higher than this one. So those are data points that you have to be aware of, that you don't think about that being data, but it is. And then what else we got? We have at Ed Plus, we have celebrations. So all these people that get Sun Awards, we want to let them know those are data points. The fact that a number of people other than me have the nerve to have an anniversary this week, you know, there you have it. Another data point. So there is data all over the place. And sometimes you don't have to touch the data to know that it's a problem. If I told you the stove is hot, you don't have to test that theory. If I give you good context, and if I tell you all the times I've burned myself, perhaps you don't have to do it yourself. So we want you to understand data. So what we've developed is 4 components for our data literacy program. One is the data culture. We want Ed Plus, everybody in Ed Plus, to be comfortable looking at numbers, doing their own analysis, understanding where the data comes from. We also have training and education. and as well as knowledge sharing, which just want to let you know, we're interested in you guys helping us, just saying. And finally, summits and conferences, and that right now is not something that we're actively working on, but we're here. So we're trying to help. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is our data culture. And what we've done is we have a number of ways that we bring data into the culture at Ed+. First thing is we have term of the week. Has anybody heard of term of the week? No, obviously you don't know Josh Johnson because he started it for us. We're going to have tip of the month. We do events at Ed+. We have lunch and learn. You can do presentations and you can do games. We can tell you, we've tested that theory too. We have consulting hours as well as trying to keep data top of mind. So the first thing we do is term of the week. We currently have 30 terms defined. One goes out in Slack every week. And the way we did it was everyone in our team had 4 terms they had to define. They got approved by our management. So it's not just what we think it is. Theoretically, someone's done some research. And the definitions that we're presenting to people are at least at an Ed+. That's how we're defining these terms. We would like to expand this, but we'll talk about that later. The next thing we're doing is tip of the month. Tip of the month is how to use a VLOOKUP. Tip of the month is for some of our dashboards that take forever to load. Perhaps you want to put it on pause, the dashboard on pause, and do all your filtering and then resume. So you only have to do it once. So we are looking for tip of the month. I haven't informed our team yet that they are doing tip of the month, but that's coming up. And again, we have an approval. So theoretically, everybody agrees this is the way we're going to do it. Next thing we do is lunch and learns. So we've had our very first lunch and learn, which was very exciting. And we played, we're using Kahoots as one of our games. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it. And of course, there's prizes at the end. So we're trying to give as much benefits that we can so everybody can participate. We make sure that we have remote, so you don't have to just be in the break room, but you can be anywhere. Coming up in December, we're going to have a data break. So mid-afternoon, hopefully we'll have bagels and a game because everybody needs a game in the middle of the day. The other thing that we're doing, or 2 other things to keep data top of mind, is what we're calling the data points and scavenger hunts. So our very first data point was asking everybody how far away they were from work and how long it took them. And our second one was just yesterday. We had a jar with M&Ms. We gave them a bit of information and let everybody guess. Because after all, we all have to do predictions. How long is it going to take me to get home? Things like that. So you always get a little bit of data. So we gave you how many bags were in it, how big the jar was, and let people that were also remote have the opportunity to do our guess. Unfortunately, well, for the winner, he lives in California. He's not coming over anytime soon. And for every question that we give people, we present the results. So we want people to understand you have all these data points. You can visualize it. It's just sometimes in your head. So we want to make this as fun as possible. We want to have as many games as possible. And we have a small committee of 3 that is trying to come up with questions. So if you ever have a data question, let us know. We'll add it to our list. I also mentioned we're doing scavenger hunts. Our initial thought was to do some of the, have people look at information in our dashboards, but unfortunately, as you all know, everybody doesn't have access to everything, all the dashboards. So it's kind of not fair. And our goal is to let everybody play. So this is, if you're in Ed Plus, this is coming next month. Oh, it's this month, sorry. But we're gonna do our first scavenger hunt a little later this month. And what we want people to do is get comfortable using dashboards. So we're gonna send you out, ask you for some numbers, and see how everybody does on the way back. And finally, one of the things we're gonna do is consulting hours. So if you have issues, if you want to talk to us about pivot tables, if you want to talk to us about data sets, or you don't understand the dashboard, we're here for you. So we have a form that a request form. So we want you to just fill out the form and ask for some time, and we will match up based on what you're looking for. Someone on our team will spend the time with you. The next thing we're doing is training and education. And for that, we have two ways of doing the training. We have 5 modules that will be on Career Edge. So it's just pretty basic. And there will be one module that is Ed Plus specific. Since again, people don't always have access to the Ed Plus dashboards and stuff, it's kind of not fair. So the Career Edge and the in-person training will be very similar in that there are the 5 main modules, which is data literacy and you, which preview is tomorrow. If you're interested in seeing what we're doing, Caitlin will be presenting. Week 2 is the ins and out. How do we get data in? How do we get data out? And data usage is just reminding people means, modes, medians, predictions, that kind of thing that some of us take for granted and some of us have forgotten since elementary school. So week 4, we're going to do a bit on Excel, particularly pivot tables, and how to get the data that you want out of it. And week 5, which I think is one of the key weeks and the key modules, is storytelling with data. Like I said, if you see a number 7, if with no context around it, it has no meaning. So we want to help you tell the story with the data that you're sharing with people, because just putting numbers on a screen doesn't mean anything until you put the story around it. So we are working on those modules. Just an example of one of our pages for storytelling with data. How do you clip them? How do you keep them? So far, you guys are still looking at me, so I think I'm doing okay. The next thing we're doing is knowledge share. And we have a couple pieces to that. One is data and dessert, and this is kind of close to my heart, seeing as I'm the host of some of these. What it is we're, once again, trying to put context around the data. Having come from admissions, I kind of know what's going on, but usually you see something in a data set, it's a 7. Great. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I don't know the process that got it to there. So what we're doing with data and dessert is we are interviewing subject matter experts. So far, we've talked to Grad College with Stephen Yena. With the Success Center, we've had a bit of a panel. And I just got the admissions data and dessert with Jacqueline Brower, who knows everything about admissions. So if you have a question, she's the girl to talk to, or the woman to talk to, excuse me. So we're going to have, the videos are about a half hour. And I am biased, but I think they're very informative. So hopefully other people will get good information on how the data got to where it is, as opposed to just here's a table, here's a variable in the table. The other thing we want to do is we want to collaborate with whoever wants to collaborate with us. So what does that mean? Well, we want people to look at the modules before we release them. We want people to help us with term of the week. Not that we're not willing to share, but what we've found out is the way we define things at Ed Plus is not necessarily the way the rest of the world at ASU defines things. So we want to make sure it's as comprehensive as possible. If there's some specialty word or term that people may or may not know, we want to hear about that too. So term of the week is a great thing. If you have a tip to add to tip of the month, we're happy to work with you on it. Tell us about it. We can incorporate it. And finally, like I said, we're looking for volunteers to play with us in our sandbox. And in that way, there's two ways that you can work with us. One is a focus group. This is Ed Plus specifically. We have, we're rebuilding our website. We have, like I said, we have modules. We have a lot of little things going on. We have surveys. Does this look good? Does this not look good? So that's like a quick and dirty. That what we're working with the university, we're calling Delish. I don't know if you noticed, food keeps coming up. Yeah. So Delish is data literacy information sharing. What we're hoping to do is have a committee that is ASU wide that will do some of the things we've been talking about. Term of the week, tip of the month, put together any ideas. We're open to sharing, and we're open to new ideas and new ways to get people to understand what data is and how to use it. So we have had our first meeting, and the most talked about things that we presented was about term of the week and making sure that the terms were acceptable to the whole university. So we're still working on that. The fourth bit is the summits and conferences. And like I said, we're not doing our own, but I'm here. So we are trying to share as much as possible and get people to join us. It sounds like a cult. It's not, I swear. But we want people to work with us to help university get better at data literacy, from students to faculty to managers and stakeholders and everybody. So someday we will be doing our own summits and conferences possibly, but until then, we're here to share and help with everybody else's. The last thing I want to talk about is the treat tracker, because all those things that I was telling you about, you earn points. So again, this is Ed Plus specific, but for every module you watch, you get 100 points. For lunch and learns or the data breaks, you get 25. The scavenger hunts and the data points, you get anywhere between 10 and 15. We're kind of settling on 10. And if you watch the video of the very lovely presenter of data and desserts, you get 50 points. And I have an in, so we can talk. Maybe you can get a few more. Just saying. And so what does that mean? So of course we have levels. Did I mention there's food? So you start out as a kitchen porter. You move up for a mere 100 treat points. You become a junior chef. For 500 points, you become a station chef. 1,000 points is deputy chef. A head chef is 1,500, and the executive chef, which is 2,000 points, which we hope you won't get anytime soon because we don't have the shirts yet, or the stickers for that matter. And what you will get when you earn 2,000 points is the famous "It Depends" t-shirt that everybody wants. So we are in the process of trying to design them, so we'll be ready. And then, so you can find out where you are on your journey. We have the Treat Tracker leaderboard, which has not yet been published, but I'm working on it. So you can see that where you stand, We'll also tell you what level you're at and everything you ever wanted to know about all your treat tracks, your treat points. So there you have it. That's all the stuff we've got. So I'm sure you're all going, oh my God, where can I find that? So right now, it's in various places because we're still building it. You know, we're still building the plane while we're flying it. We're getting pretty good at it. But right now, coming to a website near you will be all this wonderful information. We're going to have a data literacy page. I think I mentioned earlier, we're redesigning our Ed Plus page. And in that, we'll have a data literacy page where you can find all the education modules, the terms of the week that have gone so far, and the amazing data and dessert videos. Just doing that little plug there. Steve's done one, and he did a great job. So that is kind of where I stand. Does anybody have any questions?
I was just curious, you made mention of in the beginning, is this kind of within the scope of are these the primary responsibilities for your position? Or is this kind of
In addition to.
in addition to? Okay.
In addition to. Yeah.
What would you estimate is like the bandwidth or capacity necessary to pull this off? Because it seems magnificent. I'm just trying to figure out how, with a team of 2.5, how envision implementing some of these things.
Well, like I said, I think we're going to have a lot of the building blocks that if people want to work with us, it's not like we're not willing to share. So like the terms of the week, there is a discussion confirming that everybody else agrees that the term is correct, that we could share university-wide. The modules that are being created will be available on Career Edge, so that's available to everybody. Data and dessert will be available to everybody. So like I said, when our data literacy page, people will have access across the university for a lot of those things. For some of the specific, data point things and scavenger hunts, we can talk. Like I said, we're willing to share. So my particular part, I'm spending probably more time on data literacy than I am on dashboards and things, but we're also getting it up and running. So that initial oomph is what I'm spending a lot of my time on. Anybody else? Anybody want to help us? Not help us? So that is all I have. I thank you for coming. I thank you for listening. And I will really thank you if you want to work with us. So y'all take it easy. Have a great day.